How traveling and reading can make you rich. Hey, have you wanted to do some traveling, you like reading, you're gonna love this video because I'm going to show you some advantages to doing both of those that can seriously make you rich. Now first off, what is rich? Okay, you got to define rich. What is rich? Rich can mean a lot of different things. It can mean rich, you know, in your soul. It can mean rich as far as money goes. Rich can mean a lot of things. Before we get too far into this though, don't forget to subscribe, hit that button down there, give me a thumbs up, turn on bell notifications. You got to click that bell because if you don't, you won't know when I do a next video. So make sure you do that. You'll be part of the family. Now I consider rich in several different areas, you know, being rich as far as traveling the world and seeing things and knowing what's out there. Well, that's kind of a mental richness. Okay, but that leads into some financial richness that I also want to talk about in this video that I think you're going to agree with. If you have any questions about this, don't forget to put the comments below. Ask me any questions you want. Let's get right into this and let's start talking about it. Let's talk about what it does to you to travel. What it does to you to travel. Now right now I know traveling's tough because we're middle of a pandemic. Okay, and at the time I recorded this, we are at the height of the pandemic. I hope it's the height. I hope it doesn't get worse, but that's where we're at right now. So that part of traveling is difficult right now. However, we're going to assume at some point the world's going to get back to normal. People are going to be able to travel again. People are going to be able to go places. That is my actual positive attitude towards that. And I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. We have the vaccine coming, and I don't want to get off onto a tangent or anything like that. However, the point is that we will get back to normal times again. So when we travel, it can make us rich in so many ways. It was a few years ago I had the opportunity to go to Asia. Never been to Asia before, never been there, but I was very interested in what was going on there. I don't know why. I like the food, I like different stuff, so I had an opportunity to go there, and I went to Bangkok, Thailand, which was a very interesting place. But what it did for me was it opened my eyes to a whole lot of different things. And if you travel, it'll open your eyes to a lot of things too. And look, I want to talk about some of those things. First off, it's going to make you a more interesting person. Okay, somebody who's never left their town. Let's say you walk up to somebody and they're 50 years old and you say, where have you been, what have you done? And they say, I've never left my hometown. What do you immediately think about that person? You're like, my God, you wasted 50 years, right? Now I'm not saying there's anything wrong with their hometown or where they live, but you know, we live in a world, and to relegate your entire life to one little tiny area your entire life doesn't make sense to me. Okay, that's just my opinion. If you disagree, put it in the comments below, that's fine. But bottom line is, if you explore your world, it's going to change your thoughts. It's going to open you up to so many more things, and it's going to make you a more interesting person. If I go to a party and I meet somebody and they're from Bangkok and I say, well, I've been there, they're like, oh my gosh, you've been there, and it immediately starts a conversation. It gets something going. They're like, oh my gosh, you've been to my country. You know, they're going to have more interest in you the more traveled you are. I have a friend who's been in, I think, over 80 countries now. I could have this wrong, but he's been in over 80 countries with his wife. They've traveled all around the world, and they can speak on a lot of different subjects, and they've tried a lot of different foods. They're interesting people. They're different than the guy or the woman who stayed in their hometown for 50 years and never left town. Just never left town. They stayed there. It kind of makes you wonder why, but those are more interesting people, right? The next thing it's going to do for you is that when you see new, you think new. When you see new things, you're going to think new things. Understand, all your thoughts are based on everything you've seen and heard so far in your life. That's all they can be on, right? Maybe you saw it on TV, maybe you saw it, you know, live or whatever, but it's something you saw, it's something you heard, or it's something you read. And that's something I haven't touched on yet in this video, but reading can do the same thing for you. Reading, generally, you know, when I'm reading, I'm starting to picture those things I'm reading about. And reading, calm down, can be audio reading, it can be visual reading. Okay, so if you don't want to pick up a book, if you get sleepy thumbing through a book, and sometimes books do that to me, but I read books too, you can always listen to a book. You can do audio books, you can do that, and you can travel in your mind by just listening to audio books. I like to combine them with a couple different things. Let's say I'm going to do a workout. Many times I've listened to entire audiobooks while I was doing a workout, so I actually read a book and exercised at the same time. I got two things done. You know, I think that's pretty cool when you can do that and get two things done. You don't waste as much time, and I enjoy doing it. You know, I don't need to listen to the music or anything like that. Like music, but having an audio book and hearing another book is very fulfilling for me. I like that. I enjoy that. It can also open you up to new ideas. There was a gentleman, and this is going back many years, probably in the 80s. Yeah, it was in the 80s, and he went surfing with some college buddies, and he went surfing down in Mexico, and he lives in San Diego. And when he went down there on the beach, there was a little hut, and they were serving tacos that were made out of fish. They had fish tacos. They had taken these pieces of fish and they had dipped them into a beer batter, and they had made these fish tacos, and he fell in love with them. They had cabbage and they had this white sauce on them. He loved it so much that when he came back to San Diego, he opened a fish taco place called Rubio's Fish Tacos, and it became so popular because nobody had had a fish taco before. And it was amazing, you know, how people just love this fish tacos, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and he finally sold it to a major corporation, and I can't remember the exact numbers. It was maybe 30-40 million dollars he sold that company for, and it was all because he explored a new area. He went somewhere and he saw something. Okay, so if you stay in your same hometown your entire life and you don't pick up a book and you don't go anywhere, your ability to imagine and to do different things is seriously stunted. Now I want to move over to reading a little bit. Reading can be very interesting, and I don't really read much fiction, though it can be very interesting. There's nothing wrong with that. But basically, when you're reading a book on, let's say, SEO, or you're reading a book on how to sell, or you're reading a book on, you know, how to be a good speaker, or whatever it is, you are tapping into something that's not available to a lot of people, and that's called other people's knowledge. Okay, by picking up that book, you're tapping into their knowledge. They've had life experiences, and they've been alive 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it is, and they've gone through all these life experiences. When you pick up that book and you read it and you hear their ideas, you're actually grabbing their experience. It didn't take you 30 years to get that knowledge. It didn't take you 40 or 50 years to get that knowledge. You got it in a book in a few hours. So the ability to gain knowledge, the ability to get smarter about stuff, to know more things through reading is just really crazy. I'm always reading 2 or 3 books because I'll set one down, then I'll move on to another one. I eventually get them all done, but I like to switch it up a little bit. I don't know why. I've always been like that, but every time I do that, I learn some new stuff. Now, is some of the stuff in those books stuff I already know? Yeah, most certainly. However, you look for those little kernels, those little nuggets of things that are different from what you know, and that's going to help you as a person grow faster than the average person who has to go out and experience everything to get to that stage. You've used other people's knowledge. Now I think also through reading books, but more so in traveling, it makes you really more appreciative of your life. You know, I've been to some pretty poor countries, and I've seen how some people live and their situations, you know, down in Mexico or in Asia, and you see that people get by on, you know, $2 or $3 a day, and that really is the majority of the world. You know, if you're sitting in a nice home and you've got electricity and running water and all that, that is not the majority of the world. So when you go out there and you see somebody like that, you see somebody who's, you know, working 10-12 hours a day trying to sell, you know, food on the side of the street, you know, with minimal tools, and, you know, just eking by to feed their family, it makes you come back and go, what the heck, you know, what am I doing with my life? You know, I've got all these opportunities, I've got all these things I can do, I've got access to money, you know, and having access to money, to most people in the world, you know, anything, you know, $30,000 a year is a huge amount of money. And you know, most of the people in the US make that or more. Okay, or in England or in Australia, they make that amount of money, and they don't realize how rich they really are, and they don't understand also how they can parlay that into something else. Your knowledge can be very valuable too, and I'm going to leave you with one other thing, and that is, are you sharing your knowledge? Okay, have you shared your knowledge? Have you written a book? Have you written a blog? What have you done with your knowledge? There are plenty of people in the world, and I know this for a fact because I've done a bunch of courses, but there's plenty of people in the world that would love to have your knowledge. If you've got more knowledge than somebody else, that automatically makes you an expert to them. Okay, it makes you an expert to them. All you have to do is know more than your audience, know more than that person, and you are essentially expert to them. So you need to share that knowledge. Okay, you need to get it out there. You've probably got experiences in your life, you've never written them down, you've never done anything with them, but you may be surprised if you do that people will actually pay for it. They really enjoy it. Maybe you could even do a video like this right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Have you hit that like button yet? This is a great time to do that. This is the part of the video where you should do that. Okay, hit that and turn on all bell notifications after you hit the subscribe button. turn on all bell notifications so I can let you know about the next video. But my point is, share your knowledge too. You've probably got a lot of knowledge that people don't know about. And you know, I've seen people in, you know, India and Pakistan and all these other countries that, you know, we think don't have as much knowledge as the US, which is not true. A lot of the people I've worked with over the years from India and Mexico and all these places, highly intelligent people, very skilled people, you know, you can learn from their knowledge. Okay, it doesn't matter how old they are. Okay, I was listening the other day to somebody and they were helping me write a script and they were excellent at it. They were really good and they were 20 years old. Okay, 20. So you know, it doesn't matter how old somebody is. What is their knowledge base? What is your knowledge base? So yes, you can get rich from traveling and reading. It's pretty simple to do, but you got to put it into action. Don't stay in your town for 50 years. That's my advice. Don't stay there. Make sure you read books after you get out of school. I hated reading in school, hated it, just really despised it. And now I really enjoy it because I read about what I want to read about. And I think that's key too. In school, they make you read things that you don't want to read about, but now you've got the ability. You can read whatever you want. Okay, pretty much easy nowadays. They got Amazon. You can have the book there tomorrow. And as soon as the pandemic's over, we can travel anywhere we want to go, especially if you have a business online. If you don't have a business online, you need to check out my free course. It's below. It's a $97 course. It'll get you started, but it's absolutely free. All you have to do is click and learn. No credit card required. Now, I've covered a lot of information in this video, and if you like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Put a comment below. What did you think of this video? Have you traveled anywhere? Have you had some books that you'd like to share? Put that in the comments below. Or if you have any questions about making money online, I'd really like to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.